I have big cheater updates for you.
Okay, that's it's a good thing I just clicked start recording. Yeah, go ahead. Just fire them.
Did you see the thing about the person?
The living end player?
Yeah, shuffling
Yes.
cards to the top of their deck.
I saw that.
I mean,
I watched
okay.
it and I was like, this dude's a pro. This like it's a good move.
So yeah, he is a pro at doing the thing. So there are cards that, search your deck for a card, and then you have to like shuffle and whatever. And what he was doing was, while he's shuffling, he's looking at the bottom cards of his deck and then putting the card he wants on top. Now,
it was a little different than that. Like, the specific methodology was he would fetch until he saw the card he wanted. Then he would split his deck at the card he wanted. Then he would get the land that he was fetching for. But since the deck was split at the card he wanted, he could then, do a little bit of just like shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. If the top card stays the top card, I draw the card I want.
Well, right, but isn't it normally the case, KM, where after you shuffle your deck, you then present it to your opponent so that they could either shuffle or cut your deck?
This is where the technology has evolved, right? Because now there are these lands that surveil one. And so as you fetch out a land that surveils, you're like, oh, I was just surveilling. And you just shortcut past ever giving your opponent the deck. High tech.
Yeah, I had a few discussions about this with some Magic folks. There was a fairly large tournament 20 minutes from my house this weekend, so naturally this came up. Magic players love drama. Card gamers love drama. Humans love drama. I think it's safe to say. And the conclusion that me and my friend came to is that this is a cowardly cheat.
By comparison to, say, Noah Rabin, or like, what would you say is a non-cowardly cheat?
Noah Rabin is a craftsman.
Yes, he's an artisan. But it's unfair to call everyone that isn't LeBron James bad, you know?
Right, but this is... I mean, I guess they haven't all existed in the same time, so it's not like there are, 20 LeBrons or whatever, but like there has been LeBron and Jordan and, whatever in Magic, right? And it's like, for cheaters, we've had a lot of artisanal cheaters.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've also had some Bush League cheaters that are just like, when they are getting caught, the yakety sax music is playing.
Yeah.
It is clown shoes behavior. And I don't know how they ever thought they would get away with it.
What's damning about this one is that if you are ever looking at the player doing this from the player's perspective, it is extremely obvious what he's doing. And he decided to do it when there was a camera hanging above his head recording his perspective. And it's just
multiple times.
Yeah.
And also someone was like, I'm going to investigate a little bit further.
Yeah.
Thank you, Twitter detective, for doing the work and finding a camera match he played 6 years ago where he did the same thing. Now, how many matches before that and also during that time do you think this person has played while maybe they shuffle their deck and happen to need a specific card?
I think it is probably all of them. There is another thing I want to point out, though, because the cards he is cheating for are these like elementals a lot of the time. And the names of the elementals sent me into orbit, because he's like actually cheating for a card called Deceit.
Well, I guess.
And it's I
guess Grief is banned.
Yeah, no, he's cheating for cards named like Deceit. And there's another one that was like really on the nose. We're just like, okay.
Subtlety?
Yes. Yes, he's cheating. He's putting cards named Subtlety and Deceit on top of his deck. And it's like, okay, man, if you wrote that, I would probably call you a hack.
Yeah, it's just like, oh man, this is a writer strike kind of thing. They're like, just phoning it in.
It's like, all right, the writers of Magic cheaters are like, all right, what do you got for me? We got a shuffle cheater.
Speaking about bad writers, remind me of a thing. I have additional Mike Long lore for you. No, I'm not done. I'm not done with this thing.
Oh my god, okay. I'm spoiled today.
The Twitter posts about this were incredible too, by the cheater, where he was like, we don't pay attention to the meta. We break it.
Yes.
I was 7-0-2 in the Swiss and lost in top 4 or whatever. And like,
it raises
imagine
the
ever
question
losing.
of how bad the deck must be. Like, it must be unplayable.
Because this happened, he was caught 4 times on camera. He did not play every round on camera.
Yeah, like he is cheating every time he wants to cheat, right? And he still didn't win the tournament. And you're just like, okay, man. Like, I don't even understand what you're doing at this point.
Imagine playing a game where your opponent is at the mercy of like variance and bad matchups and all of the stuff inherent in any TCG, and you are cheating and you still manage to lose at some point. That is pathetic.
And then you go on Twitter and present it as a huge victory for the deck.
Yeah.
Not for you.
Because
you're like, this is validation of the archetype.
Yeah, he was the underdog. I feel like he should have been a holder of Living End, like he needs to.
Right, he should have at least been doing some insider trading, yeah.
Yeah, like 3,000 copies of the card or something. And then maybe this would all make sense to me. I don't know. But then he got caught. The tournament organizers, an independent organization, swiftly banned him for, I believe, 6 months. And then that's when someone pulled out the well, he did it 6 years ago thing. And now people are like, yeah, can we just get this guy out of here for good? It wasn't just like a one and done thing, And then he made a post that was like, I have decided to take a break from Magic. And it's like, no, motherfucker. They have decided that you are going to take a break from Magic, actually. So nice try. But then I saw a thing where he like PayPal'd one of the people he beat their prize difference.
Okay.
Because he's like, oh, I feel bad that I cheated you. Here is the money that you would have won had you beat me.
Okay.
And it's like, what are you even doing? Because you have not apologized for anything. And I'm sure this guy is still not super happy. Like, they were happy enough to make a Twitter post or whatever, but that doesn't undo the damage that you have done. All you did is give me the money that I probably should have had, but then I also should have been in the tournament and with a chance to win it,
I'll say this. I think that the thing you brought up is sort of a very relevant kind of thing when you talk about people doing bad things publicly on the internet, which is, what does absolution look like? How can you make it good with your victims? And the answer that is overwhelmingly proposed is you just can't. Don't even try. Which I don't think is a good thing. It's probably not good that we have created a culture of extreme accountability with no room for anything ever getting better for that person. It's not good, but it is what we have.
I believe in restorative justice. I honestly do, where instead of just blanket sending this guy 650 euros or whatever it was, actually talk to him and find out how he felt when he found out that he was probably cheated out of his top 8 match, and is just getting what you would have won if you lost in top 4 sufficient? Actually having the conversation human being to human being and trying to come to some sort of resolution, restitution, explain why this is important to you, where you're coming from, why you felt you needed the clout or whatever. I feel like there is so much more humanity that could be involved in this whole process than just oh, I'm just going to send you 650 and then I assume we're good.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that's a little blasé, but it's also it's weird because when you're in a situation like this, it sort of feels to me like what would happen is you feel bad, but mostly because people are mad at you.
Yeah,
you're
I'm sorry that I got caught.
Yeah, how do I make that stop is a very human reaction to everyone on Twitter being I want this guy obliterated. It's a very human reaction to be I want to make that stop, right? I would like to make that stop.
Delete your
How
Twitter
do
account.
I possibly do it, right? I
log off.
Sure. But I think that there is actually a real question here, because it's not how long. It's not a statute of limitations or whatever. But it's like, genuinely, if you do regret what you've done, what is the path, right? And I don't think we talk about that enough for as much as we talk about cheaters, right? Like, let's say someone was like, hey, I'm Jared Betcher. I was a piece of shit. I cheated a bunch of people. I really honestly regret it. And it's like, what am I supposed to do? And the answer is, the answer I always see is like, just stay out of the space. Don't play Magic anymore. And it's like, is that fair? I don't know. I never really thought about it.
Well, yeah, it's not like the people who are playing Magic now are like, oh, thanks, Jared Betcher, for deciding to stay out of our space. Like, we are appreciative of this.
Yeah, no
it's
one says
like,
that. Yeah.
But that is because what they really want is like, well, you cheated, and we don't feel like there is any sort of path.
Yeah.
Nor do we feel like you have shown any sort of like remorse or anything. So this is the easiest solution, right? But the reason why I haven't really explicitly talked about it is that I don't want to give people a blueprint for like faux reform.
Oh, that is risky. I see what you're saying here. Yeah.
But it's funny because even something as simple as like how to apologize, you could just Google that. It actually gives you like a pretty good layout for that. And all of the people who have been accused of and done fairly heinous things, even like beyond cheating in the Magic space, have not even done that simple task. Like, Google, how do I apologize?
Yeah, it is sort of like, I do wish that it was easier for people to do it, but it seems like every time someone's in this situation, they just keep digging downwards.
Yeah, foot in mouth.
And I is it weird to say that, like, outside of the part where he went back on it, Noah Rabin probably handled it the best?
Well, I mean, he might have handled it the best, but he certainly did not do a good job because he did not directly address the inciting incident.
Sure, I suppose that's also true. But yeah, like, I can't think of a time where I've seen one of these happen and been like, yeah, I believe that you regret this. I've seen a lot of like, yeah, I believe that it happened. And that, like,
yeah,
I believe that you're really upset right now because half the internet wants to light you on fire. Valid reason to be upset. Totally get it. But I've yet to see one where it's like, no, I actually like went to therapy about this.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like it happens a lot. I don't know. I didn't expect that to go that direction. Can you get into the Mike Long bad writing bit?
Yeah, so he's got a website.
Hell yeah.
And it includes a book of Magic fiction that my friend he got really into reading just because I don't know if it was because it was good. I think it was more so he couldn't stop. It was fascinating to him.
Okay.
So that is a thing that you may want to check out.
Yeah, I am immediately compelled by that. Yes.
Yeah. So it is something to do with like Magic secrets. I could probably find you the link at some point, or I'm sure someone in the comments down below will hook you up and find it for you.
Yeah, I got a comment on, I think it was the last podcast we did, where I must have mentioned something political or something. Someone was like, politics? I thought this was a Marvel Snap podcast. And to that person, I would like to say, how did you think that? Like, not even the politics
welcome
part.
in.
Yeah, not
welcome
even the
in because
part.
yeah, this must be your first episode because A, it's not a Marvel Snap podcast.
Definitely
we opened this episode by talking about Magic the Gathering cheaters. 2, it does veer off into politics often.
So it's
welcome in, new time viewer. Glad to have you.
Yeah, I guess that is it's demonstrative of growth. Yeah, no, this is a podcast that is explicitly not like we cover Marvel Snap stuff. But
yeah,
it's more like this podcast would best be described as my special interests, the podcast. That's really what starts showing up here, right?
I would describe it as 2 guys recording themselves hanging out.
Yeah, it's pretty close to that. There is a little Marvel Snap, call it housekeeping. We should probably do.
Yeah.
The Golden Gauntlet tournament. It was sick as hell. I genuinely think the finals was the best Marvel Snap I've ever seen played. Like in any of these tournaments, it was unbelievable. Like, I compared it to an ESPN Instant Classic, but I couldn't do that on the broadcast because that is copyrighted. But that that is something that like entered my mind where it's just like, this is just like one of the best sets of Marvel Snap I've ever seen. And it was the player who I knew was a player named W, the former Wowolos, one of the guys who like originated let's play Spider-Man and Profex and Thanos. That's the guy who did that way back in the day. So you are probably familiar with his work. He ended up
probably
winning.
hate his work.
You probably hate him, yes. He ended up winning with Supergiant, which this is spoilers for a video that's going to drop on Tuesday, but I'll just spoil it. He credited to Glenn Jones tweeting that he thought Supergiant was really good and getting to Infinite with. And he was like, in the middle of my prep process, I was like, oh yeah, that deck exists because of Glenn's tweet. And then Glenn tweeted out how awesome he was for, like he tweeted like a little crystal ball with a picture of him saying, I think Supergiant's the best deck. And he said it on March 6th, but I have gone even deeper and I found a clip of myself from February 25th saying that I think Supergiant's going to be really good in the next couple weeks because of its relationship with Star-Lord and Iska, the unbroken? I don't remember which.
Unbeaten.
Okay.
I think.
It's hard, right? I called that.
No, she can't be beat. That's the lore.
I called that way before Glenn Jones did. All right. I called that before the context for it being good even happened because I predicted the context being good. So between you and me, Glenn Jones, I'm the one with the crystal ball.
Well, the funny thing about the Glenn thing was I read the replies and someone was like, you work on the game, lol. Like you're a dev. Clearly, you know what the top meta decks are.
Imagine that being true.
Yeah, or it's like you. The implication was like you should know what the best decks are going to be or whatever. And it's like, yeah, that's not really how that works.
Unless you're me, in which case you actually did. You actually did say Iska's going to come out. People are going to play a lot of Iska. This card Supergiant is good into Shola. The card Supergiant is good into Star-Lord. The card Supergiant is really good into Iska. Oh, 2 weeks ago, who predicted it? Me. Victory lap. Now, I wouldn't be taking this victory lap if Glenn hadn't taken his first. But
yeah, you can't resist a chance to one-up Glenn because this may be the only chance you get.
It will legitimately be the only chance I have.
Like, once in a lifetime opportunity. So we are cashing in our ticket.
Yes, like a lot of the rest of the times, I've gone into conversations with Glenn where it's like, I think I've got him this time. You know, I'm going to tag Glenn. I'm going to be like, Glenn, could you address this? And then he'll address this. And I'll be like, he's right. I hate this. And it'll be something I really honestly believed going into the tag. I will do this. I'll be like, Glenn, I need you to tell me the answer to this in the, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about them in general terms, the NDA creator forums. I'll do this. I'll be like, I got something. And then he'll respond and it'll be like, I just got jujitsu'd. I came out of that response believing the thing that is not what I thought going in. I never get one over on him. This is my only chance.
No. It is a rarity and you have to savor it. And you have to just resist all urge to like rub it in too, because you're like, yes, finally. You know, I got one, but that's probably not going to end well for you because you know he's just going to be able to dunk on you very hard. So
it's tough. But I mean, again, I could probably come back with you work on the game, lol. It's like I think the right way to approach dunking on Glenn Jones, hypothetically speaking, would be to not engage in serious good faith arguments and instead just be like,
that will get his ass, but in a different way, much different way.
Yeah, just like, don't engage in a good faith argument. Just be like, yeah, of course you did. You cheating.
That is the vamp tutoring when I fetch style of cheating versus the artisanal cheating stylings of Noah Rabin.
Right. I really do think, like, who was like your cheater Mount Rushmore? Can I just get that real quick? Give me just a cheater Mount Rushmore. Not necessarily for like volume or production of cheating, but like artisanal cheater Mount Rushmore.
I have a list of prolific cheaters on my phone.
Why?
I don't remember why. I don't remember why I was making this. I think it was because someone was like, "Oh, this person is like a top 10 all-time cheater," and I was like,
"This is a conversation." I love having this conversation. Who is your Mount Rushmore cheater? But not I'm scrolling.
I have to scroll so far.
Yeah. You can't do like
Because-
Alex or Betcher because they were not artisanal, right? Like they were chuckers.
No, see, okay, Jared was not, certainly, because he was basically doing the Vamp Tutor thing, but in reverse. He was like putting all lands on top of his opponent's deck so that they would have to mulligan. But Alex, I have respect for him having a massive utility belt in terms of the things
have
that
a
he
lot
was
of
able to
options.
do.
No, that is true.
Brainstorm,
that is true.
Draw 4 cards. Brainstorm, put no cards back. Regrow card out of my graveyard. Play 2 lands. Keep card under my notepad. Like the man was not an individual savant. You know, it wasn't like he perfected his cheat where he like marked his Tron lands or whatever. It was just like he kept all of his opponents on their toes because you never knew what kind of shit he was going to pull.
He's the Kyrie Irving of cheating. He's got a really deep bag.
I think Dazani was a lot of the same way, but like his stuff was just like lying to judges mostly. But even Dazani did some wild stuff where he used one of his vendor friends to get insider info on what other teams were playing at Worlds by asking them what cards they bought.
I mean, that just sort of seems like the kind of thing that people would do and call it scouting. That doesn't even strike me as that wild. That strikes me as like, I don't know, analytics. Like,
yeah, I'm doing market research.
Yeah,
you know?
like it's bad.
It's clearly it's clearly a scummy thing, and this is like, you know, Dazani is well established at this point, and it's just like this is how far at the bottom of the barrel he is, where he's just digging for scraps. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Casey McCarroll, first of all, was the original Jared Betcher.
Go on.
Oh, he just shuffled, cheated, like stacked his opponent's decks and made them mulligan a bunch.
Hell yeah.
And that was it. And then there was another good follow-up to this story where like he gets banned, and then 20 years later, your boy SUV is hanging out at his LGS in like Sacramento? No, San Jose.
Somewhere in California, yeah.
Yeah. And the store owner was like, oh yeah, like some high roller guys came in and said that they were looking for money drafts, and like I didn't know who they were. You know, I thought maybe like you guys as like big time pros would maybe want to money draft them. And, you know, Luis just starts like salivating, and then he's like, who is it? And he's like, I don't know. One of the guys was like Casey McCarroll, and it was like 2 of his friends, and Luis is like, nope, I'm good. Their money's no good here.
Oh man. Imagine being like, I'm a high roller. I'm coming to the Magic store to scam people in money drafts.
Well, did you see the thing about person who had worked on, I think like it was probably the Turtle set. The most recent one was like at the
the fucking
whatever
the Palantir co-founder thing. Yes.
Yeah, the Peter Thiel hedge fund or whatever. And I offered up like, oh, I'm gonna get a money draft squad together and just try to go clean out the coffers for their next pre-release.
Yeah. I that one cracked me up because I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh player MBT had an incredible tweet about it. I have no idea if it's still up now, but the tweet was something along the lines of like, WotC says it's not okay to call players slop-eating pigs because that's reminiscent of previous hate, but you can go to like the Third Reich's you can go to the Third Reich for a pre-release. It's like, damn.
Yep.
That's crazy. I got a huge kick out of that whole thing because you just know somewhere along the line there's like a PR guy who is losing his shit. Like somewhere along the line, someone did not tell someone that this was happening. And
well,
I don't know where on the line that was.
No, they commented on it, and it was I think it was Blake that like offered up the correction where he was just like, well, this guy was basically like asked by a friend or a friend of a friend if he wanted to like show up somewhere and like play Magic.
Yeah.
And it just ended up like being brought to this hellscape.
Yeah.
And then just being like, I'll smile for the selfie, I guess. And then it was just like, oh, okay, nightmare.
I also would like to say, very funny that like the Palantir crowd super into the Ninja Turtle thing. Don't know what that says,
Yeah,
but it's extremely funny that it happened with that set.
Yeah, love the slop.
Yep.
That's great. Oh,
big fan of slop.
Did you see the worst trophy of all time?
I didn't.
Oh, they gave it away this weekend at Spotlight Series Richmond.
Oh, 20 minutes from your house. That's crazy. The worst trophy of all time? Was it a pizza?
Well,
was it a pizza?
My friend sent me a photo of it and said, "Is this the worst trophy of all time?" And I said, "I would say yes, but I honestly can't tell if this is real or AI because that's how bad it is."
Was it a pizza cutter covered in pizza gooey cheese? I know you're going to send it to me right now. I won't be able to see it.
No, I'm going to find the picture and try to put it on the screen.
Okay.
And you're probably not going to be able to see it, but
Oh no, I can see it. It's like a turtle shell with the planeswalker symbol on it and like all the weapons.
Turtle shell with the planeswalker symbol, with the sewer manhole, with all the weapons, and then they're like, "Oh shit, we got to put in like what the tournament is." So then there's like the little badge at the bottom. It is like the busiest turd of all time. And also, what do you do with this thing? You have to like set it manhole cover down. Yeah, or like hang it on the wall, but like they didn't put like mounting stuff on the back of that or anything. They were not forward thinking. It's just you have a paperweight.
Well, if there's one thing they've never been accused of, it's being forward thinking. So,
well, you are right.
Yeah, I have no particular animus towards the turtle set. I think it's because I don't really care as much about Magic as people that actually care about Magic, who like sort of view it as an inherent attack on the thing that they love, that there's just like gooey cheese pizza in their game. It's like, okay, man, I think that's a little more funny than it is horrendous. But I think like a lot of it is like, is it cringe to like this thing by the standards of like a big old nerd, right? Like that's how people judge it.
No, dude, I don't think anything is like really cringe to like. I feel like people like the things that they like, and I don't even know necessarily like how much control over that you have, No,
what I mean is like the way the community looks at it is entirely based on like a vibe check. Like if the set is more modern, probably going to fail the vibe check. Probably not going to pass the vibe check. If the set doesn't have enough like swords in it, probably not going to pass the vibe check. Well,
this set is both. It has plenty of ninja weaponry, including swords.
Can I be honest? It actually kind of looks like a cool set. I'm sorry.
So I played some Spider-Man Limited and expected 0, and that set provided 0.
Yeah.
It was actively bad. And so going into this one, another small set, kind of looks, slop adjacent or whatever. And my bar was on the ground. I expected nothing. Limited, pleasantly surprising. Honestly, like they are normal games of Magic. You have like a little bit room to breathe. The rares are super powerful, and it is a little bit snowbally, but it's honestly not as bad, I think, as Lorwyn Sealed. And people loved Lorwyn. But
it is kind of incredible that what will happen in retrospect is they're going to look back and be like, man, our Spider-Man set was our worst set. Like with all the competition they could possibly have.
I think this one is doing pretty bad also.
I don't mean in terms of sales. I just mean like holistically. I would imagine it's impossible for a Spider-Man set to do that bad, where like the range on a Ninja Turtle set probably starts lower and ends lower too.
I think I had 3 Spider-Man cards in my deck, and I could have had a 4th. Most people who were playing the same deck as me had a 4th. And it's like, that's honestly like a lot of cards from one set,
I think a lot.
They're not great. They're not great, but it's like, it's got like a lot of solid role players.
Yeah, I think a lot of one thing I want to do at some point in the future is go through the Spider-Man set and be like, how is this compared to the Marvel Snap card? You know what I mean? Like, is this a good evocation of the character? Like, what are the constraints that led to this being different? Obviously, I'm someone who plays Magic and plays Marvel Snap, so like, I want to do that, right? Maybe we'll do that as an episode of the podcast or something. But it does seem like the kind of thing
I could see doing that for sure. That'd be fun.
It seems like it would be an interesting exercise in my amateur design skills, right? To just be like,
yeah, you have a character like Doctor Octopus or whatever, right? Like, how could you express that flavorfully within Marvel Snap's game engine? How could you express that flavorfully in Magic's game engine? Who did a better job?
Yep.
Obviously, like, goals are different, right? Like, maybe Snap wanted a playable card and Magic just wanted a like fun, quirky commander that was centered around the number 8 or some bullshit, you know, like, but you could probably identify ballpark at least like what their goals were.
Yeah. And I think that kind of stuff is actually like, it's the kind of thing that a good version of this podcast would do. We are not that, but we might be at one point in the future for one episode only, you know?
Well, that would be the Patreon episode, if I had to guess.
Yes. Oh my God. I tried to segue to Marvel Snap 20 minutes ago. I'm going to try it again.
All right. Bertoncini,
oh my God.
Mike Long, Noah Rabin. Is Mount Rushmore 4 or 5?
4.
4, right?
Yeah.
I feel like there's an obvious one that I'm missing.
Interesting. I mean, it's not like a...
How is Dasani not even on this list? I mean, he wouldn't... So, like, Mount Rushmore is, like, of all time. It's not like, oh, this has to be, like, first ballot Hall of Famer kind of shit.
I would say Mount Rushmore is, like, in a crowded field, these are the 4 best.
Okay, instead of Dasani, I'm going to go with someone who was spiritually similar with Katsuhiro Mori.
See, that's great list making right there, because whenever Americans rank like best Magic players, you get to like 5 or so, and they just start throwing whatever Japanese player they've heard of in there. And I think that it's nice that you did the same thing in this context. I think that's a really really good move.
Mori was another person who is not on that list, and I just thought of, but like is kind of like the OG Dasani, and I think was better at it and wasn't just like a giant freaking baby about it.
The thing that brought this whole cheater conversation on is there's a video of Tomoharu Saito shuffling. And that video went viral.
I love this so much.
That video went viral, and Saito was like,
"No, it's been viral." Sure. Like,
but like someone tweeted about that video having been viral, and was like, and Saito was like, "Hey, look, it's me." And then in the comments, someone was like, "Is this when you were stalling for time? Because you know you shuffle a lot, stall for time, etc., etc." And Saito was like, "Nah, I was way before that."
Yeah.
Chilling.
Yeah. Just like a casual acknowledgement of the fact that he was a cheater. I'm just like, that's king shit right there. Hey, you dropped this, king.
We talk about restorative justice.
Your manhole cover. Here's your manhole cover turtle Psy nunchuck trophy. You dropped this.
That is restorative justice, baby. It's just being like, nah, I wasn't cheating then. It's shit. Don't worry about it.
It's funny because he wasn't doing the stalling bit then. He might have been doing some other shit, but you know.
I think that is remarkable because like I will also say this. I have almost no familiarity with the Japanese scene. None. So I don't know anything about Katsuhiro Mori. Nothing. The people I
told
knew,
you about him. He was known as Gus Cloak Mori.
Now I remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was a story where it was like round 2 of Worlds, and then he won Worlds.
Okay, yeah, sure. Mount Rushmore. Love that. Phenomenal. I stand by my take about like when Americans start naming Magic players, they get to like 5, and it's just like for a while it was just like Yuya, right? You just
yeah.
And it's like, how many matches of Yuya have you watched? And it's like 4. but you just know from reputation that you got to do it. This is extremely common among people in the Levine trench, such as myself, right? You get that one in there.
I mean, yeah, it's like, who's your favorite Magic player? Yubi Ichiban or whatever they said that Yuki Ichikawa's name was, because they had AI write the prompt.
I forgot about that. Yeah, they got his name wrong as hell. That's crazy.
Well, I went back and looked at that, and then I saw a post from him that I missed where he was just like, I don't know, it's funny, you know, like, and then he signed the post basically saying like it's okay, and signed it like whatever
the fake
messed
name.
up, yeah, Yuki Ichiban.
Yeah. Housekeeping. I swear, we're actually doing housekeeping. 35 minutes into the podcast, we're doing housekeeping.
I have one more thing, but it's Marvel Snap related.
Oh, fine, I guess.
I talked to Monty DeVuti this weekend.
Yes. Go on.
I was like, dude, we talk about you all the time. Your name comes up, you know?
It's come up in 2 episodes. Why would you tell him that?
He was like, what? Because I'm trying to get new listeners, dog. What do you mean? Shout out, Monty. Definitely go back and listen to all the old episodes and see how many times you were mentioned.
Twice.
And he was like, why? And I was like, because you're the world champ, man. He just kind of like gave me that awkward, like, shrug, ha, like, please don't call me that. Like, I didn't really do anything kind of thing.
I love it.
And I was like, no, man, you're great. We love you.
I'll vouch for that. Yeah. I will also say this. Going back to Golden Gauntlet, which I was starting to talk about earlier. It was an unbelievable match in the finals, and also all the semifinals were really, really good too. Because sometimes in Golden Gauntlet, I'm going to be honest here, sometimes in Golden Gauntlet there's a pretty clear mismatch, whether that be like a matchup being wildly in one person's favor, or a player that I know to be a top, 5 player or whatever versus a player that is not necessarily that, right? Like, I've seen that a couple of times, right? And the magic of card games is a lot of time that worst player can win, but it really doesn't seem to have happened very much. So it's been pretty chalk for a while. This time, I felt like both players were not just evenly matched, but evenly matched at a very high level. It was W, the former Wobolos, on the version of Supergiant that he sort of cooked up against a negative Star-Lord deck piloted by a player named Movi. And, I expect all of my friends to be pretty good at this game, right? W is one of my friends. He's actually one of like 4 active members of my alliance. There are 4 of us remaining in the Unction. He is one of them. And so it's like, it's me, him, Browde, and Big Baby, and then Jam plays sometimes, I think. And it's like, there's really not a lot of other people in there, right? And this, I expect it from W. I don't expect it from the guy I don't know. And maybe that's a failing of mine, right? Lack of knowledge. I'm sure you could say that, right? But this guy was unbelievable. And all my friends were like messaging me like, who the fuck is this guy? Like these, like I was getting messages one of my friends described the plays he was making as big nuts plays. What this player was particularly good at was set up punchline, right? This is a player named Movi. What they were so good at doing in the negative deck was setting up a thing, trusting their opponent to see what the plan is, and doing something completely different. And the negative deck gives you a lot of latitude to do that. The play that I think was the funniest version of this is he made a play where he had a 0-cost null in hand. And he was like, okay, it's turn 5. He played the 0-cost null alone in a lane to signal Arnim Zola.
Yeah.
And then went the exact opposite direction, did not Zola at the opponent Cosmo there, because of course they did. Like, it just, didn't have to do that. It's not, like, it's an incorrect play, because that costs 0. Why would you ever play it then? It's turn 5. But it's telling your opponent the wrong thing, and it sets up the win.
So that was what I was going to ask. Like, is there any reason
None.
for him to potentially do that?
Zero.
There's not even like a location changer card in the
Nothing.
opponent's deck. Nothing.
There were zero reasons to do it beyond the setup.
So that is just hooking your opponent and
Yep.
leveling them
Yep.
and knowing exactly what level they're on. I don't know if you want to talk about this to
Go
some
ahead.
degree. Just like level 0 in I think most common parlance is like what is kind of like the face up best play. Level 1 is thinking a little bit ahead, where you know that your opponent knows that level 0 is the best play for you. So given that information, what is the best play that you should make? And it sounds like this opponent was just like, I am able to discern what level my opponent is on, and I understand that if I do this, they will think that, like, yeah, the obvious thing is I'm going to Zola it. But if the opponent stopped and thought about it a little bit, where it's like,
why did they do that?
Too obvious.
Yes,
this is too obvious.
It's so disrespectful. Like, it's so
Kind
disrespectful.
That's how I feel. But like, when their opponent then walks into it and Cosmos that location, you were like, yeah, obviously I knew that you were going to do that. And it is kind of Bush League to sort of like trap you into doing this, but it worked because I had the correct read of what you were going to do. And it's
SUV theory.
It seems like it is just like Bush League and like maybe kind of bad, and you know, you're not respecting your opponent, but no, it is absolute brilliance and mastery, assuming that they are able to figure out at some point what level their opponent is playing on. And it is also like a very brave move to commit to that, make sort of a hard read, and just be like, I am fairly certain in my ability to figure this out. I know that they are going to do this and play accordingly. And sometimes it can backfire, absolutely, you know, but I think that this is a big part of higher level play in Magic and also in this game. And it's great for people to look for opportunities like this, because a lot of people maybe like it's open deck list, right? So you know what cards the opponent has. So yeah, this person knows that there's no reason for them to actually play the null, right?
Yep.
It is
They should know
zero
that,
cost
yeah.
card. Next turn is gonna still cost 0. You have more information to work with by just not playing it.
And the other thing is, the other thing is, if you leave that location open, they're gonna think you're gonna Zola there anyway. Like, they're already probably
like,
gonna think that.
Loud. You're like,
yes,
wee like, hey,
yeah. And it's one of those things where it's a good play. Marvel Snap players, a lot of level 0, and just being on level 1, it's a good space to be. When I talked to W about this, again, spoilers for the video on Tuesday that I'm going to be doing, he mentioned watching the player and noticing that they were consistently inconsistent. So that's his way of talking about how he went to the level beyond that, which is, I expect you to do this setup punchline thing, so here's what I think you're going to do, knowing that you do this, right? And
which is level 2.
Yeah. And that is, I think, a pretty remarkable like analysis of the situation. But I really do want to commend Movi, because I just don't think most people play negative that way. I think most people play negative level 0, and that's like sort of the premise of it. And it was really nice to, like, a lot of the time you'll see a lot of level 0 stuff. You know, I play level 0 a lot. I play level 1 a lot.
Most of the game is played on ladder, where it's like, I play against this person one game. You don't get an opportunity to get enough information to be able to make an informed decision as to like what level they are on, right? But in a tournament where you're playing like multiple actual games against this person, or maybe playing against them in the Swiss and then again in Top Cut or something, like you get a little bit more to complete the mental model of who you think your opponent is and how they play. And being able to utilize that is massive.
How much do you think people should be thinking about this at my level? Or I guess I should say, how important do you think it is to change levels consistently enough to deny your opponents a good read?
Well, that in and of itself is a leveling technique, and that veers over into like Nash equilibrium, game theory optimal, like that sort of stuff. Which is, I mean, another thing I could get into if you want, but like, I mean, game theory optimal, trying to get to that point is like literally the highest level of what you're trying to do. So, in theory, that sort of stuff is good and should be a thing that maybe you strive for under optimal conditions, but in many instances you are better spent just like improving your technical gameplay. Like that is going to carry you further. Getting to play a perfect level 0 is going to carry you further than like playing level 0 at like 70% efficacy and then like level 1 at 10% or something. So just focus on the fundamentals until you're like, yeah, I'm really good at this. I understand what the obvious play is, and then you start noticing things about your opponents and the way that they play where it's like, oh, my opponent's playing like a little bit differently than the other level 0 people that I play against. Like, so what is exactly going on in their mind? Like, what is the psychology behind this?
Yeah, I this is a big thing for why I always recommend easy decks, right? Go play Doom 2099, right? Because like the fundamentals you have to learn to understand that stuff much more minimal. And then you can start applying this kind of theory to get actually good at the game, right? And once you start thinking about things like that, well, then it just becomes a question of learning the fundamentals of whatever deck you want to play because you have the fundamentals of how to play against people. And that's why I'm always like, play Mono Red, play Ramp, play Doom 2099, play some shit like that because there's no cheat code to going from being bad at a card game to being good at a card game, right? I mean,
I don't think that Mono Red's easy for whatever it's worth, but yeah.
Sure. That's also valid.
I think it is easy to just like point and click, you know, but to play with precision, you know, getting like that last 10 or 15% in equity, it takes a long time.
I feel like that last 10 or 15% in equity is like where, again, like that's where you actually get good at the game though, right? Like that's like, it's a deck that teaches you that stuff because you fail with it close. You know what I mean? It's a deck where the margins, you notice them. And that makes it easier to learn from, I think.
Yeah, but I could do a whole episode on this. I don't know. It's so complicated because if you don't have good solid fundamentals, you may learn the wrong thing where it's like, oh, I burned their creature and then they lived at 3 life, so I'm never gonna burn a creature again. You know, it's just well, you gotta learn the fundamental. Like, I feel like Mono Red is maybe like a good second or third deck to try. But like
interesting.
Ramp and 2099, I feel like are very good examples of things.
2099 like, is the goat of this shit. Hey, that deck is. There's 2 technical things you have to learn about it, and then you're good.
Yeah, I mostly agree with that. I do think that the best way to learn certainly is by playing the games. You know, like you could sit through a bunch of classes and like watch coverage or strategy videos or whatever, but like you have to actually commit to application at some point and actually get in the trenches yourself, you know?
I have a mental model of us. I need you to tell me if this is right. My mental model of us is that you are much more naturally gifted at this stuff than I am. I don't think you've spent nearly as long being bad as I have.
Well, it's weird because I kind of had this argument with Raptor at one point, Josh Utter Layton, Magic Hall of Famer. And for clarity, I'm not in the Hall of Fame. So like by the, you know, metrics of the people in the community, you know, they have decided that he is much better than me, right? So he made a comment about how, oh, Gerry, you're just, you know, naturally gifted. And I was like, whoa, no, hold on. I was dumb as shit when I started. So I got into Magic from a coworker, and he came over to my house. He like, you know, built a Magic deck and we played some games or whatever. Then he came over to my house. I had a bunch of Pokemon cards and had, you know, learned the rules with my little brother and played some games or whatever, and had started building my own decks from the cards that I had. Just playing precons is pretty boring. And he built a deck out of my leftovers. And then we just played some games and I did not win a single one, and it was not even close. And I'm just like, what the hell is happening? Like, what is going on? Like, I just don't understand. And he was a phenomenal teacher, and I think that I'm very confused as to like how or why. Like thinking back on it, it's just like he was so patient and wasn't just like, you have to do this, you have to do this. Like he waited. He was just like, we're gonna play some games, and he is gonna lose. He is gonna exert like some amount of frustration, maybe about losing and lack of understanding, and then like maybe I will offer a little lifeline, like, hey, do you want to know some reasons why maybe I am winning more than you? And I was like, sure, man. I'm sure there's just like some magic secret or whatever. And he's like, okay, so there's this card, Bill.
Draw
It
7.
costs 0. No, Bill is draw 2. Professor Oak is discard your hand, draw 7.
Wheel of Fortune, yeah.
Wheel of Fortune. And he went through my cards and put 4 of each of them in his deck, and then was just, taking like these 5-minute turns to my 30-second turns or whatever, and just whooping my ass. And he was like, let me explain to you a little thing about card advantage. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. Because I thought it was just like, I don't know, checkers, pretty easy game. It just has like weird pieces with like Pokemon on them or whatever. But that made me realize like, oh, maybe this stuff is like way deeper than I thought it was, and that is what hooked me. And then I just devoured as much content for basically the next 15 years, just as many articles and whatever shit people were saying on the internet. Like I just loved talking about Magic and other games with people because this stuff was so fascinating and there's so much to learn. Like I do not think that I started good. I think that I'm fucking awesome now.
I think you got good faster than most. But again, that could just be a good teacher, right?
Yeah, that might be true. I mean, this guy, I don't think he had even like a PTQ top 8 or whatever, but like he knew his shit. I do think that he was capped by, Magic being like a classist game. Like the game pieces are pretty expensive, and he didn't have a license or a car or anything. Like if he could have been playing Magic every weekend, that he would have been, and I think that he would have been very, very good. He was already pretty good. And it did eventually like end up playing in a few Pro Tours too, and I was not surprised. And this is like him not taking it seriously at all, So I feel like if things went a little bit differently, like it could have been him and I just traveling together all the time, and I think that would have been sick. And it's possible he would have been better than me, honestly.
Yeah, I felt like I know nobody is naturally good, but I think some like people think I'm smart. I'm not smart. I'm quick. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'm fast at putting things together. I'm fast at vocalizing those things. It's a skill set that's useful for my job, but I'm not. It's the appearance of smarts. I'm like closer to Chat GPT than you think, right? Like, yeah. It's in much the same way as Chat GPT sort of simulates human consciousness because words are pretty good. Like that, they're kind of all we have to go on that tells us there's something going on in other people, right? Like, I am simulating intelligence by playing a lot of card games for a long period of time, learning from people who are better than me, like you, and then like. Being quick at talking about it, right? And that's a skill set, but it definitely tricks people into, you're a smart guy. And it's like, I'm probably a little above average, but it looks like I'm a lot above average because I do it fast.
I think the thing that I'm good at is absorbing and analyzing information and just like being able to sort it into like useful, not useful, and stuff like that. And I don't start with like the complete download on everything. But like once I do the work and actually devour that information, I'll be able to like spit out, whatever the correct answer is, probably with the information I have. But yeah, I just wasn't able to conceptualize a thing like, card advantage gives you more resources to potentially utilize over the course of a game, and that is helpful because more resources and more options.
Yeah, but as soon as the framework was available to you, integrated,
but then
immediately.
And like how can I apply this? And like this is fascinating and this is fun, and like okay, this is like not technically card advantage, but like my 3/3 is holding off their 2/2/2s, right? So like that's kind of
I definitely think there's a lot to that, where once it's like legitimately once it clicks for you, there's like a floor on how bad you can be, because 85% of people it has never clicked for. Like it's just it just has never happened, right? And
yeah, I think that's probably what it is. But if you were just like, yo, go, review this contract or something, just like something I have no experience doing, or like, like who would win in this court case or some shit. I'm just like, I don't know, man.
no paradigm here.
But yeah, but I would figure it out in a week, probably,
See, I'm the opposite. If I can't do something very quickly, it is very likely I will not be able to do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are things where there are a lot of things that I would have liked to try at some point. I would have liked to learn an instrument, like maybe guitar or something. I would have liked to maybe skateboard at some point. My friend messaged me the other day at like midnight and was just like, "Were you ever snowboarding?" And I was like, "No, man, I grew up poor. Snowboards are expensive." And he's like, "Oh, I could just imagine you snowboarding. I'm on a snowboarding trip and thought about you." And just
I can also imagine you snowboarding, actually.
And it's like I would have if I was filthy rich. I would definitely have like a snowboard back here, probably. I would use it like twice, maybe, but yeah, like those things. It's like I'm gonna start doing it, and I'm gonna be bad at it, and then I'm gonna be able to figure out how much time it's gonna take me to have to get good, and then I'm just gonna be like, I'll just go do something else.
It's why those things we devoted ourselves to as kids are the things that really stick, because we're too young and too stupid to realize that it was a bad investment decision, right? Like I invested
some cost, baby.
Yeah, but like by the time you grew up, you're like, well, I'm already pretty good at this, and here you are, right?
Why do you think I still do magic stuff? I mean, like the money's pretty good, and I genuinely love it, and I think I am great at it. And if there were like 100 other me's and I was just a dude in a sea of like magic content creators or whatever, then I would probably peace out. I'd be like, oh, they don't need me, but I do feel like I am providing a very specific service, or like able to provide a very specific service for people. So I don't know. I feel good about the work that I do here. It's not just, oh, I'm good at it, so I guess I'll keep doing it.
You feel good about the word here?
Here in like specifically the magic content creation space. Maybe I want to go back to writing articles, because that's the medium I feel that I am strongest at. But
yeah, I'm lucky because I lucked into the exact skill set that is monetizable at the time I started doing it, basically. Like if I had to write, I can write. I'm a pretty okay writer, but I am probably, relative to other people, much better. Like my actual skill set is doing pretty good work really fast. That's my actual skill set, right? It's not doing great work. It's doing pretty good work in a very short amount of time, which lends itself incredibly well to constantly making content. It's exactly the skill set you want for that. And I don't know that it's a skill set you want anywhere else.
In many places. Yeah.
But it is great for two things. One is graduating college without doing anything. Two is making content. That's what it's great for.
I don't know, man. I worked on an assembly line for about 3 months, and we assembled metal enclosures. Like the electrical stuff you see on the side of the road or whatever. And I feel like you'd be a good like first guy on the line. Right?
Yeah,
like that is your job. Well, yeah, I was doing, I mean, over time I did almost everything on the line, but like you're the first guy just like assembling the little bits, and it's just like, all right, you guys make it pretty at the end, y'all clean it up and finish it off,
Yeah, that does sound like me. Not a details guy. I'll get you 85% of the way there. The remainder 15, that's a you thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you just need to find someone else, like the person who is just like, I'm the one that puts the finishing touches on.
Is
also
it like,
known as an editor.
Is it too saccharine if I'm like, that's my fiance? Is it too saccharine? Is that too bullshitty?
I mean, for what we are talking about in terms of labor or whatever, yes, but as like a you complete me sort of thing. I think that's great for your life.
It's
awesome.
Super dope. It's super dope. She has all these opinions about like what color our walls should be, and I have none. And it's just like, I can't believe I can make you happy by like paying for this to be that color. I'll do that every time. Great trade.
Yeah.
I have no take on this. Like
my landlord keeps asking me, like, my walls are fairly white. I think I honestly don't even know. Like, if you asked me what color the walls were in my living room, I couldn't tell you. I think they're white, but she was like, what, do you want me to add some color down here? Like, what do you want? I was like, I don't care. Also, it's your house. Do whatever you want. I just live here.
Yeah. This is my house, but like, I'm so function focused, right?
Right.
Things that will upgrade my function I care about. Oh, a better chair, a nice heating pad, a massage gun, the cough drops that I keep eating, not necessarily for cough drops, but for the fact that they are pretty good for my acid reflux, right? All of this stuff is about function. I am not a form guy outside of the gym, I suppose. A very good form in there. But like, this is not a thing that I do. And so it's nice to have someone around who's like, these are my opinions on how things should look and should be.
Yeah. No, that is great.
I have aesthetic tastes. Like, this is a good outfit. I actually, I'm proud of this. I am able to be like, here is like the outfit you're wearing. This is the good part of it. Emphasize this. Like, I'm able to do that. And I don't think many boyfriends are. I think that is something that I do. And I've been told it is helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I could maybe bullshit that, like, and maybe even believe that I am doing a good job, but I am skeptical of my ability to do a good job.
I mean, I have been told it is helpful. That's all I can tell you.
Did it come with a head pat also when they told you that?
No. Like, she'll ask me about her outfits, and I will be like, this works, etc., etc.
Yeah. No, it's great. It sounds like that works.
Yeah. I don't know. I have an aesthetic sense, but it's much more about people than it is about objects. I have no aesthetic sense for objects. I don't know. Like, fashion is a language, sort of. It's about conveying things. So I understand what those are. And I imagine that, like, interior design and all of these things, gardening, they're also about that. But I don't speak that language. So I can't even have an opinion. I know what I would want to convey, but I don't know what the word for it would be.
Or, but I mean, you don't even know what the tools would be for the word if you had the word, right?
I don't even know what sounds.
You don't have the download of, like, what the hell is a card advantage? You know?
Yes,
right?
exactly.
You haven't gotten that update yet.
Yeah, and I don't know if I ever will. But, I'm very lucky to have someone like that in my life. Is there anything else we need to talk about? Oh, God, I forgot even what I was going to talk. People are whining, like, immediately. The top 8 of this tournament, the top 16 of this tournament, there were 2 show allows. There were 2 Star Lords. There were 4 Iskas. And I walk into my own Discord, and people are like, we got to nerf Fin Fang Foom. We got to nerf all this stuff. And it's like,
really?
I can't even have one day after an objectively extremely balanced top 16.
That sounds like a dub, yeah.
It was a dub. There was a dude with a Dark Hog deck in the top 16. There was a dude with a Pixie deck in the top 16.
That's how you know things are fine.
Things are fine. And like, every time I'm just walking into, like, this is an outlier, this is an outlier, this is an outlier, this is an outlier. I'll tell you the only thing I think is an actual outlier. It's still Sholau. But I think basically everyone who played that tournament did not get to the right build of Sholau, which is the ongoing build of Sholau. There were 7 people, I believe, who played it. The person who top 8'd with it left a comment under my video that was like, thanks for showing me this build. I got top 8 in the tournament with it. So
Hell yeah.
I am providing value for you by doing this. I am still useful to listen to. Honifer, who ended up making the build, he went 5-1, qualified, but did not make it on breakers. It is, I think, the best deck in the game, probably. It was just horrendously underrepresented for reasons that are a little unclear to me. But like all of my friends were like, oh, I'm bringing Sholau, but I'm bringing like, and then it would be like a Sholau deck that is worse than the ongoing one. And it's like, why? It's just like I never got
like I don't know, vibes.
Yeah. And
ongoing's kind of boring or whatever.
The other thing that happened is Sizer. You may remember him, constant rank 1 player. You may also remember him as $50, 80 cubes, but he is a very good player. He got a
that came up also.
What do you mean?
$50, 80 cubes. That was the rate.
Yeah, it was the rate.
It was 10 scoops. Okay, good. I was asking about that. Or I was wondering about that, and I'm gonna ask about it because it came up that a friend of a friend paid someone to concede in the last round of an RC because they wanted the ELO points. They paid him $20.
I mean, that's gotta be like, that just shows you how bad, like that's gotta be a better deal, right? Like the ELO points for $20 just has to be a better deal.
It's maybe like a point per dollar less, certainly, but roughly.
It's gotta be, right?
Well, the ELO is not even real. It's not in the game. It is just a website that a person made.
Like just on ELO project?
Yes.
Okay, that's worse. That's worse. That's crazy.
Third party ELO points. I'm paying you for third party cubes, fake cubes. It's
That's tough.
like buying like clearing all the rewards in Deadpool's diner and then like paying for more Deadpool bucks.
That's tough, man.
This is the fakest shit of all time.
Anyway, he hit rank 1 with a typical sort of Sizer pile, which is like, there's a bunch of good cards. There's some interaction in here, a lot of redistribution of power on the final turn of the game. Sizer and Derek are players who love doing that kind of thing. We're just like, this is my fundamentals pile, basically, is how I think of them in my head. And it got a little carousel spotlight in the game. Like, here's Sizer's deck. Go play Sizer's deck. And it was like number 1 brought deck with Sholau in it. And with all due respect to Sizer, there is no goddamn way it should have been that. Absolutely not. He led those people off a cliff. It is not his fault. The deck is fine, but there is no way it should have been the number 1 Sholau deck. Not one.
He wasn't like applying to get on the carousel or whatever, right? Like, wasn't it just? Don't they just choose who gets featured?
I think it was. I don't know the mechanics of it. I actually couldn't tell you, but like I blame him. 29 people in this tournament should have brought a better Sholau deck and didn't. And it's because
29's a lot.
I'm crediting it to his carousel thing. It's gotta be, bro. Like I saw that and I was like, there's just no way. Like I could understand if Batroc Sholau, which maybe people don't know that it has a bad matchup into the ongoing Sholau, but Batroc Sholau, I could understand being the number 1 deck. Sure. Wolf Sholau without any ways to double it, and you're playing like a Nihilus and Sentry. Nope. And so Sholau underperformed in the tournament relative to how good it actually is, because 7 people were on the ongoing build and 29 were playing Werewolf by Night. And it's like, okay, that's probably why there was only 2 in the top 16.
Yeah. So maybe things aren't okay.
That's what I've seen. Nobody make that argument. Only I am making that argument. And everyone else is just like, things look even, but just trust me, Fin Fang Foom is broken. Just trust me, dog. Like,
is it? I felt like 2 power was such a nerf. And I don't think it wasn't deserved or anything, but like the card is certainly much weaker.
I think that I think it's worth talking about the dynamic. Whoops, you disappeared. I think it's worth talking about the dynamic that these season pass cards that lose power have, because I think people look at them and they're like, well, this will change nothing. But each time it's happened, what has happened is that they've been forced to import power, right? With Shou Lao, the traditional Shou Lao deck, where it's just, the spider stuff and you're doing all the activates and it's all in Shou Lao. Well, Merlin lost some power, Shou Lao lost some power. That deck doesn't hold up anymore. They import that power. They hybridize with Batroc. They hybridize with Ongoing. They hybridize with Multiple Man. Even they hybridize with Destroy, right? All of those things are now better. The same thing happens with Star-Lord. Star-Lord goes out, they get points knocked off the Star-Lord, points knocked off the Alioth. The points knocked off the Star-Lord are pretty important, especially because you need those points in order to have priority for the Alioth to even happen in the first place. So what happens? Hybrid Star-Lord decks. There's a 5-1 in the tournament with a Phoenix Force version of Star-Lord that is using Fire Hair to loop it that way. We're doing more combo thing. The second place version is the Mr. Negative version of Star-Lord, right? These decks existed previously. They were already around, but there wasn't a reason to play them when the base Star-Lord was as strong as it was. But now that deck doesn't exist and it needs to import power, and suddenly this is where you import the power from. Because I've been playing some base Star-Lord, and I gotta tell you, there is not another big card in the entire game that is not named Fin Fang Foom. I know that sounds like an insane thing to say. There is not. There is not another big card in the entire game. There just isn't. Like, there is not a single guy that'll be like 20 power for you. And you need that guy. You need that guy really bad because your Alioths aren't reliable anymore. You need the guy who's just going to be like big as shit when you don't draw Fin Fang Foom. He doesn't exist. There is no guy. The best you've got is Hulk. And then he requires you to run a whole ass other card. That isn't worth it. So you're like, okay, Magneto. Fine. But he's 12 power. And if you need him to be 12 power, frankly, 12 is not a lot right now.
No, it's not.
So what I ended up doing in concert with Roram, I ended up on Black Panther, which gives you one astonishingly funny line that the normal deck does not have access to. You ready for this?
I'm in. Ready. Go.
Luna Snow 3, Black Panther on a side lane. Luna Snow on a side lane, Black Panther on the other side lane. So that's 3-4. Arnim Zola the Black Panther, then you Grandmaster the Arnim Zola into the middle. This is terrible. It could never be your plan A. But as a plan like C or whatever, where you're just like, I didn't draw Star-Lord. Yeah. Like, and like genuinely, that's the best I've got. There's not another card that's like, this is a lot of power. Don't know what the hell else it's supposed to be.
I think that's fine because it's not doing as good of a job as the other thing that you would want. Like the Wolverine looking at the photograph kind of thing. But it is providing like this thing that is going to come up 5% of the time.
Yeah. Like we don't have the ability to invalidate our opponents consistently with the Elias stuff anymore. So we have to invalidate them with power. And it turns out there just isn't a guy. Just kind of isn't a guy. So we're either going to be playing the Alioth version, the weaker one at this point, where our Alioths are not consistent, or we're playing like Black Panther, which is what I was doing. And it's like, this deck is notably worse. Like you can tell, like you feel
like
it.
This does what I am looking for, sort of, but just like not very well. And I imagine you have gone back to the well and tried to still solve this problem through different means, right?
Man Spider is the one that's probably the most promising, but there's just...
Well, that's what I was wondering about, because you keep talking about all these different decks, and I know that I'm just like languishing in like the nut low bracket or whatever, but I don't know. I never got off of my Man Spider Kid Omega Fastball Special Adamantium Infusion stuff, because A, big number is cool, and B, shit was just fun. I love A plus B combo,
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. But
it doesn't seem bad.
I basically played only Star-Lord to Infinite, being like, can I solve this problem? And I came away with, not really. Like, I don't think I can.
Yeah, not well.
Yeah,
right.
I didn't get anywhere that felt like I actually solved the problem. I got like, sticking my finger in the hole. That's as far as I got. Like, there's a hole, the water's pouring out. I can stick my finger in it, But that is not actually solving the problem. I'm not patching this in a meaningful way. And the decks that actually are doing that are less Star-Lord decks, like the Mr. Negative list. That's not a Star-Lord deck. Or a deck like Firehair is doing it in a way that's like, I'm even more of a Star-Lord deck. I'm playing 6 Star-Lords. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, I'm kind of all in.
I'm all in, and if you Cosmic Ghost Rider me, I will cry. If you Cosmic Ghost Rider me, I will literally break down and cry in front of you. Like that's yeah.
I will cry, but then I'll offer you $50 to concede.
Yeah, no, all of that is like, I do think there's a pretty coherent argument that Sholau was underrepresented in terms of how the good decks of Sholau. The ongoing show deck was criminally underplayed. I genuinely think it's the best deck in the game. Like,
well,
by a lot.
Okay, so it is the best by a lot, and it did do well, right? You said 1 in top 8. I know that there was 1 in top 16 as well.
There was another show deck in top 16. I don't know if it was the ongoing one, but there was a 5-1 at the very least. Of the 7 people that brought it, it was like 2 in the top 25. At least, again, I haven't fully looked through it.
So it did well, but it wasn't like a dominating performance. You know, it wasn't like,
I will say the loss.
There's only 7 people brought it, and there's 3 or 4 in top 8 or whatever. Like that'd be nuts. And maybe the numbers bear out where it has the highest win rate or like a fairly high win rate. But I don't know. It doesn't sound like it is that dominant. But then it's like, well, we're the best players playing it. You know, like how does that influence the info?
I will also say this. I think that it is such a good Sholau deck that I no longer think you have to nerf Batroc. That's what I'm talking about here. That deck is so strong in that matchup that it's just like, maybe it's fine. Genuinely.
I mean, that doesn't stop Batroc from being an outlier, though.
Yes, he is all the like correct identification of why is this guy a 155. Like, yeah, that's all still true. But
honestly, good question.
It is a good question. Why is he got so many goddamn points on him? Doesn't make a lot of sense. But a secondary Batroc question is why isn't he a Spider-Man? Great question there too. Don't know why they decide they hate money. I finally got a Batroc variant, by the way. I just got the one that was available for gold.
Which one?
I don't know. They're all the same. They're all like just a picture of him from the comics leaping.
Oh, well, I mean, I think like the Graffiti Studio, I think that's how you say it.
I got like whichever one that was available to me. I was just sick of it. I was like, I'm sick of looking at base Batroc and the bananas that I put on him. So now I'm looking at a different Batroc and the bananas that I put on him.
Yeah, that's what I did last week. Yeah. We complained about it on the podcast. They're like, do you want a variant? And I was like, I guess.
They heard us. Good job. They heard us, bro. I'm really interested to see what they do with the pack. I don't know if you know that they're like they do these like, this deck won the Golden Gauntlet, right? So we're gonna like let you buy the cards from it, right?
Oh,
they do that.
Okay,
they did that last time for Snowball Showdown, right? And it was weird because it was a Sholau deck, and Sholau was on the season pass, so they didn't put Sholau in the pack. And then they had Maverick be available, but not in the pack, so he was like 6,000 tokens for the Maverick, and it was just like, this is just kind of a huge pain in the ass. And then they nerfed the deck such that it kind of disappeared, that specific incarnation of it. A lot of bad things happened here. I don't think any of those bad things are going to happen to Supergiant. But it does sort of raise the question of, Supergiant has 3 Series 4 cards, 0 Series 5s. How are they going to make money on that? Like, what are they going to do? Just be like, here's a deck. We're going to charge you 1,500 tokens a pull?
I think what they should do is not... I think they kind of cornered themselves, where it's just like, oh, we're going to do a thing from the winning deck. And it should be like, no, maybe like a fan favorite deck or like something like that. Leave yourself a little wiggle room to get out of these scenarios because, if everyone basically owns the deck that won, it's like, yeah, what do you do? I don't know.
There's
I think a thing that could be cool is like in celebration of Golden Gauntlet, go back and rewatch the tournament here. Here are the VODs. You can join for the next one here, but like in celebration of this thing and how cool it is, everyone gets a Series 4 pack or something. I don't know.
I think the getting decks thing is good. Like I think it's good that this is going to be a deck that is going to be A, fully accessible, and B, I'm hoping priced cheap enough that like a new player starting can be like, I'm going to spend $50 and I'm going to get a good deck.
That would be sick.
That would be so sick, right?
I absolutely would have done that when I started.
And I like, this is a real opportunity for me, like as a content creator who focuses on this kind of stuff. I'm not gonna be like, this is make or break. But if they deliver on this and it's like I could spend $50 and I'll just get the deck that won the tournament, dub. Yeah. Huge dub. Best thing they've ever done if they do that.
Well, I do think that if there's just like, reverse promotion of the Golden Gauntlet, advanced promotion for the next one or whatever thing that they want to promote, and then also everyone gets a free thing. I think that is also a way to just, get some good PR and get, I don't know, some of the faith that was lost over the last year or so.
Yeah, they just did a little like state of the snap kind of thing. That's what it felt like to me.
I saw that. I haven't read it yet.
I read it. It felt to me like there are two things going on here. The first is really good comms work, which is to say a fairly common doomer sentiment in the community is like, the game is going to die. The game is going to die. We're going offline. There's no life left in this game. How long do you think it has? 2 years tops. You see that a lot, right? And
I played so many gacha games where that is every Reddit or every subreddit for those games.
And it's like, I don't really think that's true. I'm pretty sure it's not true. I will also say though that their announcement being like, here's what we're going to do this year. We're going to focus very heavily on eliminating, on reworking our backend, eliminating bugs, and making things work better for this game. Which doesn't seem like a really big deal announcement, but it is a very coherent argument as to if they thought this game was dying, you just don't do that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you just
Absolutely.
don't do any of that. And if you do an announcement and, like, that's your big thing in the announcement, what you're saying is chill the fuck out. Like, that's the one thing that it did, right?
You know what signals actual EOS, end of service? I was playing this game where I logged in, and normally they would have, like, new weekly banners and a new announcement. Like, here are the 2 new characters, da-da-da-da. No announcement, no new banner. I was like, we're cooked. Because they were just like, actually, yeah, we are not going to sell you anything new today.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
people keep asking
dead.
Second Dinner to do that. They're like, do a month where you don't sell us stuff. Like, close the game? Is that what you want?
Yeah, that's well, A, no new content, awful. Okay. And B, that is a month I'd be like, oh yeah, they're end of service.
Yeah. I strongly suspect that this game is profitable enough and run on a tight enough budget that they don't really have to worry about that. Like, that is sort of my understanding of where they're at, where it's just like, I think a lot of people worrying about end of service are, I guess.
Oddly, I feel like this circles back to how you described yourself, where it's like they would be right now. They're like, they made an announcement where they're like, we're focusing on the 15%, like putting on those finishing touches and doing all that stuff. And if we were just in, KM mode, then okay, maybe you could worry. It's just like, we're yeah.
Just fucking
welcome to the slop factory.
Yeah, dude, if they let me on that dev team, I'm printing so much bullshit. You get me on that dev team, I'm printing Moon Knight first steps. He's gonna say random bullshit go on him. He's gonna sell like gangbusters and get nerfed in a month.
you would sell literal Goon Knight.
God, I would do that. Like,
I know you would.
I like, it's just one of those things where it's like, considering the instincts I have, they have a shocking amount of restraint.
You would commission like Peach Momoko to do like a 6-7 joke on one of the cards.
I would.
Or some shit, and they'd be like, "No, I don't want to." And you'd be
Hold
like,
on. They did that actually. There's a newly data mined title that is just 6-7.
Well, the titles I feel like
that is something I would do.
might be generated by AI. But yeah, like you're not like spending a sizable portion of the budget commissioning an artist to do glup shitto stuff, you know?
I would try to make a card called Glup Shitto.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite Marvel Glup Shitto? I've got one. If you don't,
I mean, I love the Nasty Boys. We've been over this.
That's good.
Gorgeous George.
Yeah, you can't do that though because that's just wrestlers.
I don't care.
Okay, they're gonna sue you.
They're glup shittos too. I feel like almost every wrestler is a glup shitto.
I think that's largely true. Yeah, they're like the kind of things where it's like people argue over who a glup shitto is. A glup shitto is someone a normal person doesn't know. And by those standards, basically every wrestler that isn't Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock are glup shittos.
I mean, yeah, there's a larger Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, whatever. You know.
Everyone
Andre
who's
the
wrestled,
Giant.
let's say, if you debuted past 2010, glup shitto. Name me a modern wrestler, Jerry. Name one.
AJ Styles. Get wrecked, nerd.
How do you know AJ Styles?
AJ Styles.
Okay, but like seriously, how do you?
I'm friends with Cedric, you idiot.
Right,
how do you
think?
Think?
Right, okay. Also, AJ Styles did not debut in 2010. AJ Styles has been wrestling since like 1999.
Whatever.
He just retired. He just literally retired. Right. I should have accounted for the Cedric bit. That's my fault. That's on me.
Dumbass.
My bad. Shit. That's definitely on me. Yeah.
Okay. But by my logic, how do I then not know sports ball players, right? You know?
Yeah, no, that is a reasonable point, right? But I would imagine it's probably easier to learn about wrestling by osmosis than it is to learn about. I went to a Roanoke
bar with him one night to watch some wrestling bullshit, and it was just like AJ Styles was the only guy with any charisma whatsoever, and that's why I remember him.
He does have that. I'm gonna make a guess. Royal Rumble 2018.
This was during 2015, so.
Did he have you out here watching Japanese wrestling?
Was AJ Styles in Japan?
Yes.
2016? I think I moved away in 2016.
I would have to check. Did the event end with a bunch of people booing a guy with long hair?
Dog, I don't remember that. I just remember AJ Styles. That's it.
But like, was this like his debut? Was this his first? Okay. All right. Well,
I couldn't tell you.
I tried.
I wasn't paying attention to the storyline.
I got to tell you though, I'm pretty sure AJ was in Japan like 2014, 2015. I want to say I'm pretty sure he was in New Japan then. I don't know. Maybe
Japan?
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I thought you just made up a country. It's like, what?
Yeah, dude, I founded New Japan. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's crazy. He wasn't even in old Japan.
He was in New Japan. Yeah. It's where the next Pokemon game is going to take place. Do you have a Switch 2? Are you a Pokopia gamer?
I have a Switch 2. Like 7 people have asked me.
Gee, I wonder why. Why are you so offended by this? Look behind you.
What? I'm playing Fire Red currently. I just got my 8th badge, but then I had to go back to the stupid Magic Grand Prix.
What's your
Otherwise,
team?
Right now it's pretty scuffed, but I'm in the stage where it's like I have a lot of shit that's like 35 to 45, and I'm like working on getting stuff evoed, and I'm like trying to catch good things. But then I also have a Kadabra that's like level 55 that just keeps one-shotting everything.
Yeah, the Kadabra thing is so ass, bro. Like I did that with the last time I played my original silver cartridge. I cleverly got a Kadabra and taught it the elemental punches, and it literally just one-shot the entire game because they did not have a split between
attack special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it just had full
I was
coverage
gonna ask
on
that, yeah.
basically everything, and you just instantly won every single you just underleveled the entire game, one-shotting everything the entire game. This was when I was a late child, I suspect.
Were the punches like base power higher? It's like 65 now or something,
I
right?
don't know.
Like, were they...
I honestly couldn't tell you, but that was the strategy I used, and it worked.
Once I started working at Wizards and was like more into game design, Pokemon became so much more fascinating to me because like every gen there would be like subtle buffs and nerfs to like random moves and like the move pools of various things, and like I would just go so deep in the tank thinking about like why
Gerry,
would they do this?
Are we gonna get super into Pokemon Champions when it drops? We are, aren't we?
Okay, so I went to an RCQ last weekend with a dude, Mason Furnish, who is dope as hell, lives 2 hours away in
I'm sorry,
Harrisonburg,
can you guys stop? Mason Furnish?
Yeah.
Like as in Mason, a home builder, and furnish what you do to a home?
that is really funny when you put it that way.
Fuck?
Yeah, it's spelled phonetically too.
What? Yeah, this is my friend, hot dog store. What the fuck? What do you mean? Like, why?
This is my friend wax on, wax off.
Yes, like, this is my friend, car builder Audi. Like, what? Why?
I'm definitely gonna bring this up to him next time I see him. But he was like, you know what? I might get into VGC, assuming like Pokemon Champions is any good. And I was like, dog, I've played in I think 4 VGC regionals and very easily could have made top 8 in 2 of them. One I conceded to a friend of a friend at 6-1 playing for top 8. And then the other one I was 6-1 and thought I was locked for top 8, but they didn't post standings and they didn't pair us top down in the last round. And I was expecting both of those things. And so I didn't really care. And I lost and then got like, I think it was cut to top 16. And I was like 22nd. It was not even close. And I was like, well, that's stupid. I'm not going to do this again. But,
I felt like I feel like me asking that question was like just bait for you, like just catnip to throw out there.
Yeah.
Because I was just going to be like, yes.
Yeah. So he was like, oh, I might get into it. And then I was like, I mean, I'm interested, but I am also pretty sure that it is going to be ass in maybe not the ways that you would expect. And then I did some reading about it, and sure enough, it does seem to be ass where they're like, oh yeah, there are maybe some microtransactions involved. And it's like, oh, you want to bottle cap your thing? That will be $15. Oh, you want to reset your
import
EVs?
them from home.
So I re-downloaded Home on my phone because I was curious, and I was talking to another friend of mine who has dueling Gyarados tattooed on his arms, badass. And Home was like, you can't look at all of your Pokemon unless you upgrade to the premium plan. And my friend was just like, what? Nintendo has become Team Rocket? Like they're holding all of your Pokemon hostage? And I'm like, oh my God.
Look, here's the thing. The honest thing I can tell you is if this was a Switch game, I don't think I'd care as much. It is a Switch game, but what really gets me is if you put VGC on my phone, buddy, I'll pay the microtransactions.
Like, you never... Well, see, that's the thing. It's not like I'm not going to pay because I'm going to.
I'm going to do that. Like,
but I'm not going to be happy about it. I'm not going to be like, oh, I am happy to add this additional thing to the, like, please, dear God, help me. Look, my family is starving. You know, it's like $1,000 for rent, $7,000 on EV training my Pokemon.
Look,
How do I balance this?
That's life. That's life. I do expect that, like, if it is at all even close to reasonable by what I'll say are TCG standards, which is to say rapacious, I will probably be playing that game once it comes out on mobile. I might even think about getting a Switch 2 because I've been seeing a lot of Pocopia stuff. You
never played Showdown on your phone?
I've never played Showdown at all.
Oh.
Showdown's
cracked.
Showdown, it does seem incredibly cracked. I hate everything that is non-official. I'm the worst about this. The fact that I care about this, I don't do proxies. I don't do Showdown. I know it's bad, right? Like I know I shouldn't be like this. But like, for example, if there was like an unofficial, like I talked to Brian Gottlieb. I was like, are you guys going to do a client so I can play your game? because I think it would be really good. Like Flesh and Blood is a game where it's like that game can be top down mobile. That game has the
I've been telling
UI.
them since day zero, and they're just like, I don't know why don't you just go to a local game store and talk to strangers and learn how to play? And I was like, I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing it. Right. And so people like, I'll ask Brian about the mobile thing. And then I like, go to my Discord. I'm like, well, what do I do if I want to do this? And they're like, oh, there's like a simulator,
Yeah, I'm not playing on Apprentice.
And it's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not playing a fucking cockatrice. I'm not about that life. I can't do it.
I feel like I was anti-Showdown for a while because of that, but it's actually the opposite. Whereas Apprentice is like a slow, clunky version of even
Showdown
Magic
is kind of
Online.
goated. It's the good version.
Showdown is a clean version of actually playing within the client, within the Switch system.
It's incredibly goated. Because the problem is, if I say what I'm going to say, they're going to get mad at me. If they just put Showdown on my phone and it was official, I'd be like, hell yes, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you charge me $30 or whatever. I'm chilling. That's fine. If that results in damage to Showdown, though, that's bad for people that aren't me. And it's like, I don't want that to happen, but I still want the product. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Like,
this is Rian Gonzalez all over again.
Really is.
Yeah.
Like those bad things happen to people that aren't me. I'm the only one that matters.
It's true. It's true.
But no, like I fully expect. It's like I only played VGC with people in your Discord. Yeah, and I got a team from a guy named Kelton in your Discord.
Yeah,
and he was like,
Kelton's
"Do this." He was like, "Do this," and I played it till I was like rank 1,000 on the ladder, which is way higher than I should have been, considering I had no clue what the fuck I was doing the entire time. I could not tell you in a million years what the hell I was doing beyond Gigantamaxing a Porygon Z. That's it. I did it every game, and it worked enough of the time that I was like a relatively competent player. Like I could match into Wolf Glick for a month. And it's like, well, that can't be good.
let me tell you, Gigantamax, Dynamax, whatever, like.
Oh yeah, it was Dynamax. Sorry.
Heinous
yes,
mechanic.
I was definitely abusing like I specifically was like, I want a team that I don't have. I wanted the Doom 2099, of the format.
Yeah.
And he was just like, do this. It's like perfect. This is great.
When I did play, I was lucky enough to get hooked up with this dude Tiago, who knew me from Magic, but also played VGC and was also like just quietly the GOAT is kind of my understanding. Like it is hard to really figure these things out because I'm on the outside looking in, like I don't actually know, but he's like, oh yeah, here's my friend this guy and my friend this other guy, and it's just like the best players or whatever, like the coolest people in the community, and he hands me this team that like no one else is playing, and it's like very good and very easy, and he's just like, yeah, there are basically two lines, you do A or you do B, and I was like, yeah, I can do this. Like this is pretty easy, and it was super sick and super fun. So everyone needs to get themselves a Tiago.
It's I was hoping you would be my Tiago. I was hoping you'd be good enough that I could just be like, hey Jerry, what do I do?
I'll get his ass out of retirement.
But yeah, I fully expect that when Champions comes out, I'll be like, what's up? I'm randomly good at this game, but not good and not very good, but I'm good faster than you thought.
I'm 85% of the way there, baby.
Yes.
That's my MO.
It's what I do.
Dude, if you want to look it up, I got a feature match on the internet.
Wow, nice. Nice.
It was a clean kill too, if I do say so myself. Like there's some feature matches that go up where you're like, like this line was not good or whatever. I think there was like one turn cycle that was maybe not the cleanest possible, but I was like, dude,
are you serious?
I'm kind of nice with it. Yeah, I'm seeing it.
What the hell? My God. I think that's a good enough ending here. How much does a Switch 2 cost? Because like I don't know if that's, you're kidding. How is that possible? It's a Switch.
500.
That can't be right.
500. because probably because of either, pick whichever one suits your fancy. Tariffs, crypto, I, I don't know. I'm sure there's more.
I feel like my Steam Deck costs less than that.
Probably did.
It's a better machine.
But this is like an official product because it's made by Nintendo. Your Steam Deck is just like a piece of hardware. Anyone could have made that.
It's made by Valve, the most trusted name in gaming.
I think that's Nintendo.
I kind of think it is Valve, actually, when you think about like what Steam is and how many people are comfortable putting their like in purchase libraries on it. I do kind of think
Steam is kind of crazy, but like I don't know, like their UI looks like Pokemon Showdown, like it could use a revamp.
It's pretty ass, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't argue. But I'll take the good with the bad because frankly, if I fear for Gabe's health every day I wake up, I'm like, damn, get really bad if that guy ever goes, because you got to wonder what happens if company gets sold, shareholders are involved. Get Bobby Kotick in the building, and you're just like, oh my god, this is gonna go to shit. Like it's gonna be unpleasant. So shout out Gabe.
Chris talks on the phone.
5 is quite a number. It definitely concerns me. That is a number.
Come with Mario Kart. You want a pro controller? You want like an actual licensed controller that feels good? That's another hundo.
Wow, my god, these guys make Marvel Snap seem reasonable.
Oh, we sent you a dock or a charger that doesn't work? That'll be another hundo.
My god, you could get 2 Marvel Snap decks for that.
Oh, you want a game? That's $70.
Ooh, god, I haven't bought anything in so long. Everything I buy is on the Steam Deck, and it's all on sale. So like, I'll get Mountain Blade Bannerlord. I played that for 300 hours. It was $30.
I mean, I'll be honest. Many of the games, aside from like their main releases, like their banger, like we advertise this shit all the time and we never put it on sale. Shit, there are sales on Switch a lot, and there are a lot of good cheap games on the Switch, and that is the majority of what I play. So
I was looking for a good gacha game to fill my time. And doesn't exist. About it. I logged on to Fire Emblem Heroes, and I recovered my account.
I'll see what's new.
I recovered my account. I was like, all right, I got to figure out what the password is. Got there. It's like my Nintendo account. Logged in. Immediately closed the game and never opened it again. There's just nothing.
You immediately start Googling, how do I permanently delete my account?
There's just nothing that scratches the itch for me anymore. And I'm really hoping that VGC on my phone is going to be up there with Marvel Snap for like, I can walk around my house for 8 hours playing this. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want.
I definitely fell into some Showdown, like hyper-focused blackouts.
Yeah. That's the thing that I'm looking for. Please put VGC on my phone. It's genuinely all I care about. It's the potential is so high for me to care about this. Please don't screw me. 500.